right, everyone, and welcome back to CJ Discusses. Today we're going to talk about Big Brother, Season 27, Episodes 38, as well as the finale. We start Episode 38 really with the three remaining housemates, Chelsea, Mackenzie, and Cam, congratulating each other on evicting Rubina and making it to the final three. They go ahead and come downstairs and find that they got their final feast waiting for them, and they really just recount all the funny moments from the course of the season, which takes up the majority of the episode. We get to the last 5 minutes, which is when Derek, who's the Big Brother 16 winner, breaks onto the TV screens in the house and says that Ainsley is up to no good again, and he has figured out a way that we can go ahead and finally get rid of her for good. So it's up to the three final housemates to go ahead and take part in a 3-part final head of household competition to see who is ultimately going to win. For part 1 of the competition, we find out that they're going to be strapped up to these bots, and really it's an endurance competition. They just have to hold on as long as they can. All 3 of them are participating in it, and whoever wins this competition will then have a fast forward pass to the 3rd competition round. So they basically get a bye in the next round and have an automatic chance to go ahead and win that final head of household meeting. Episode 38 goes heads and finish with all 3 of them hanging on for dear life. Nothing crazy has started yet, but really this is Cam's event to go ahead and lose. I mean, all he has to do is hang on. He is the strongest, supposedly, allegedly, he is the strongest athlete in the house. So really, he should be able to win this hands down. We get to the final episode. They go ahead and they pick up where they left off with all 3 of them hanging on for dear life. Cam's talking a good game about how he is, feeling good. It's an endurance comp. All he has to do is hang on. Mackenzie, we see her starting to struggle. She's having some issues with her left hand. She can't feel it anymore. She's starting to stretch it out. So she's starting, we see that time is not on her side in this competition. And Chelsea is hanging on for dear life. She's also starting to struggle a little bit, not as much as Mackenzie, but she's starting to, work her joints to see how long she can stay up on there. We see as time goes on that they start to spice it up a little bit, and they start with the goo and the water squirting out on them that just make it even that much more of a miserable competition. At about the 26-minute mark, Mackenzie goes ahead and falls off. So now it's just a matter of Cam and Chelsea just hanging on to see who can do it the longest. And don't you know it? Cam goes ahead and he falls off at the 37-minute mark. So he's made it 37 minutes and falls off. It's the same thing as the head of household competition when Janky was in charge, and he spent, all night long, 10 plus hours standing there holding a marshmallow on the end of a pole on a dot, and he can't close the deal when they go to one leg. I don't understand how this guy played Division I college football. The only thing that explains it is that he played for Penn State, which is overrated. So obviously I just have a hard time believing that he got any field time with his athletic capabilities. So with Cam falling off, that gives Chelsea the win and gives her the bye to round 3. So for round 2, we see that this is going to be a puzzle competition, which really does not play to Cam's strength as well. Really, this is Mackenzie's competition to lose. We see that it is a puzzle maze that they need to move these parts around They need to get 3 of these parts off the maze and onto their cylinders, at which point they can go ahead and move on to the next phase, which is taking these ropes and trying to figure out their different sizes, how they go onto the board so that they, go into one hole and stretch to another hole. It's really not that hard. It shouldn't take a rocket scientist to go ahead and figure it out. But as we see, Mackenzie makes pretty light work of this. She gets all 3 of her buttons off the board, while Cam is still struggling with the second one. And then she goes ahead and destroys him with the ropes while he's still trying to get his 3rd button off the board, and goes ahead and wins round 2 relatively easily. From there, we have some time back in the house where we see all 3 of them really just trying to plead their case to one another on why they should take themselves to the final. Chelsea's starting to waffle a little bit. She's not sure if she should take Mackenzie or Cam if she wins. Mackenzie is also starting to waffle a little bit, and we see that Cam is. I mean, this is all obviously gamesmanship on the producer's part, so that we don't know who exactly they're going to take. I stick by my guns that whoever wins out of Chelsea and Mackenzie, that they should take Cam, because really, it's going to be a hard fought battle between Mackenzie and Chelsea. And really, if Mackenzie decides to take Chelsea, you know, Chelsea's resume is a lot more stacked. Mackenzie, she's a comp beast and everything, but she didn't really have the social game. Cam just he's the wall behind me with my Kane's jawbone notes up all over it. He just was there. He was decoration the whole time and hasn't really done much of anything. From there, we see that we're going to go into round 3. Mackenzie and Chelsea are dressed to the nines, so we know that there's going to be a quick decision made once this competition is over, and it's a trivia competition. Julie explains that they're going to have an avatar of one of the jury members is going to come up. They're going to spout off 3 sentences, one of which is a false fact. So Mackenzie and Chelsea needs to go ahead and figure out which one is the false fact. So it's a pretty even playing field. And we'll see how it pans out. Meanwhile, back at the jury house, Rabina goes ahead and joins the rest of the jury members and brings them up to date on what's been going on. We then see Big Brother 24 winner Taylor go ahead, and she's going to kind of lead the discussion on who deserves to win Big Brother at this point. Everybody's pretty much torn between Mackenzie and Chelsea. They're pleading each other's cases, but Taylor has to go ahead and prompt them to talk about Cam, which really tells you again how well Cam has played this year. So he really doesn't stand a chance, and would really be your best chance to go ahead and win that final by taking him. We go back to the house, and we see again that they're just about to start part 3 of the head of household competition. Julie goes ahead and starts rattling off the questions, and we see that it's a very even match. Both Chelsea and Mackenzie get the first 5 questions correct. So it's a tie going into the 6th and final question, at which point they both answered differently, so we know whoever got it right is going to win. And lo and behold, Mackenzie goes ahead and gets it right, and immediately they go back into the house. Cam and Chelsea are up on the block, and Mackenzie has to go ahead and make that hard decision. I really thought that she was going to take Cam, but she decides to stay loyal to Chelsea and picks Chelsea to go ahead and stay with her in the house for the final 2, keep it an all-girls final, and Cam gets booted and is the final member of the jury pool. As we go into the jury phase of the competition, everybody comes out. We get the nice kumbaya recap of everything that's been going on, and then Julie gives the jury the opportunity to go ahead and ask their questions. And they ask some very good questions, which Chelsea does a very good job of answering. She really lays out how she played the entire season, how she was masterminding and manipulating things behind the scenes to get each and every one of them really out of the competition. Mackenzie really leans more on her physicality, which is a good part of the game, but the other big part is really the social aspect. And because she was playing from behind, really from the get-go, when she started her showmance with Matt back on day 1, she was really not socially in the game until the very end. So her answers and the way she's laying things out, you can really tell from the way that they've done this that Chelsea's making a good argument for herself. When they go into their final words to the jury before we go into voting, again, Chelsea does a very good job of laying it out, make sure she does a very good recap. She's hitting the high points and does a very good job of advocating for herself. Mackenzie gets up there, is completely flustered, and really can't advocate for herself and explain coherently why she should be the winner of the season. The jury pool goes in and does their votes, and we find out that it's a unanimous decision, and Chelsea is our winner for this season, which she really did deserve it. She did a really good job socially, and she won a lot of competitions, especially early in the season. She had a couple early head of households, was able to really kind of keep things in check with the way that she formed alliances and formed friendships in the house. So very well-deserved win for Chelsea. Mackenzie gets that 2nd place finish, and of course she goes on ahead and says that it's not about the money, it's about the experience. Like, that's BS, man. If I'm gonna go spend 3 months of my summer in the house, like, I want the money. I mean, I'm not there to make friends. I want to win some cash. So she gets to take home $75,000, and then we see that Tucker is the fan favorite, and he gets to go ahead and take home $50,000. I was never really a Tucker fan, to be perfectly honest with you, and just to find out that he's still as annoying and his voice is as grating as it is in real life, just solidifies the fact that I'm glad that he went home when he did, because I probably wouldn't have made it through this season if he would have stayed on. But he seems like a nice guy, and him and Rubina are going to go ahead and continue their relationship, and we'll see where that one goes. Maybe we got another big brother romance like Brendan and Rachel and some of the others that have been on there. With that, that ends the season of Big Brother. So we'll pick it up next summer, or if they do a celebrity cast, maybe I'll go ahead and do some videos for that. With that, I'll go ahead and see you later when I do my recap of tonight's episode of Below Deck. So have a good day.